What is up everyone, it's TK and welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna have another discussion video, but this time it's gonna be the truth about these event troops. Now obviously I just want to kind of explain my thoughts about how and why these event troops are coming to the game. And firstly, let me actually start with saying the history. Yes, these event troops are meant to be remembered. So one of the reasons of bringing such broken event troops like the lava loon, or like for example that back in the day we had also like the El Primo, some really broken ones, like the ones that you will remember it for the rest of the Clash of Clans history. You will remember that era, you will remember what you even did in real life in that era because of the way it actually kind of gets stuck in your brain. We all know the Halloween in Town 15, how fun it was. The first ever time we got those kind of like, the event pass and like all the things that you could have done with these lava loon troops and the other troops. We had like 4 or 5 different ones that every strategy went just around, and you could go with air, ground, if you liked hogs. We had the hog wizard. It was a lot of fun, and obviously there are certain things about it that wasn't fun, like the high legends. Something like that can be effective, or sometimes when the event troops gets released when the CWO is around, it's also gonna get a bit messy, but usually they don't get dropped right at the beginning of CWO, which is usually the beginning of the month. They get dropped around 7 days after it. But if your clan started the CWO quite late, that's when you're gonna actually struggle on the last 1 or 2 wars in the CWO with those event troops, because the wars could go both ways. You could easily lose, you could easily get a draw, but you cannot win. So it's kind of, a bit pointless to do wars. But talking about wars, one thing I think that they can change is put a filter, because obviously I'm talking about Legends League most of the time on the channel because I'm a Legends League player. There are certain players on Builder Base, there are certain players who only do wars, there are certain players who are offline and only get active once in a month for CWO to go for a higher ranking. But me, I do most of them, but I'm really focusing on Legends because that is where my personal skills can be effective. But one thing is for sure is that there is not much to do about Legends League itself, because the system, as we talked about in the previous videos, are a bit more complicated. The way it works, the way you don't have to really put pressure on like Supercell to make changes, because obviously the system itself is still good. I think it's a good system. So there needs to be certain changes maybe later regarding how difficult it gets maybe, but again, that is just a whole different topic. Going back to wars, I think there should be a filter where clans can choose, okay, I'm gonna kind of start the war, but let's put just one filter on a tick, not to make it complicated like a friendly war about attacks and timers. No, it's a friendly war that is different, but on a regular war you can put the tick of using the super troops, or sorry, the event troops, or not. Now this filter allows you to find other clans that is also looking for wars without the event troops. This doesn't really do that little thing where, okay, it's like now your armies are different, right? When you're warring, you can literally just copy the army, but then for example it shouldn't really let you take that event troops. So the wars are actually more balanced. It's not all draws. It's not like, because the high town 15 wars is all draws, and we're not even talking about Legends League. Wars are different. The bases, the system, the attacks, you get 2 attacks, you can check the traps. It's so different. So if there is event troops in wars, and I've seen from my comments from the previous videos, a lot of you are frustrated with the way the whole month gets destroyed in wars. Obviously that is the only way it can change. But going back to the event troop, I personally think it's a beautiful addition. I have multiple really rushed accounts, and just accounts that I just do, kind of clan games just to get some rewards. Usually I upgrade them in Hammer Jam because that is where the upgrade time is very low, the walls are very low, and the, kind of timers are also quite low. So I like to upgrade my bases that are not on the max town 17 stuff a bit in Hammer Jam. But with this kind of like event troops, you can just spam them, get the loot, get out. And especially with like the attack timer, I really like this entire event because how easy it is to attack, and I don't care really about the defense I get on my other accounts. It's below legends. No one cares about the defense, to be honest. You're just having fun getting the loot. Going to invest that loot on your walls is one of the key things if you have one builder empty. And I had a video about like the top 10 beginner tips. Always have one builder empty, because with this type of event you have no limit to your attacks. You can easily gain that 20 million loot in your storages really quickly, so that way you can actually upgrade everything faster and also upgrade your walls. So I personally love the way these troops work. I love the way they can get added like to every aspect of the game. But as I said, there are certain things that can be done with the filtering on the wars, and also Legends League is just about like how can they change it. But I personally don't think it's an easy thing to do, so we're not even gonna talk about it, obviously. Now, we talked about the history, how it can be, kind of done and dusted. It can stay in the history of Clash of Clans and everyone can talk about it always. And we also talked about the accounts that kind of don't get loots that much, or they are rushed. They can easily go and get the attacks done. They don't have to boost anything. They don't have to boost troops, upgrade troops to attack, upgrade their heroes. They can literally put down 3 heroes. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting down 3 heroes. So we talked about these. But now the third thing and the third truth about these event troops or the marketing. Now, obviously, I'm here to tell you it's an absolutely blast for Supercell to bring event pass. It's an absolute blast to bring like new troops, kind of new systems, interesting videos, easy to use spam troops, which is on the ground or air, depending on, of course, the kind of event. But this time we all had the troops on the ground. But guess what? The troops could break the wall easily. They could jump the ball. They didn't care about the wall a lot, like, the throwers. They can just shoot on the other side of the wall. And we had, again, the Kane that doesn't care about the walls either. They can just one-shot it. So these troops are really good for every playstyle. That's why they're gonna actually gain more and more players, even though you might think in the comments that kind of it's like, oh, it's so pointless to play, it's so boring to play, we're getting triples back to back, the wars are draw. But guess what? We are having more players, in my opinion. The more player, the better for Clash of Clans and the better for their environment, especially when they are also kind of, I think, putting a few percentage of their income through this event to WWE because of their contract, most likely, that they have with this whole collaboration. This is basically their way to gain players, at the same time have enough income for themselves, and also gain good income for WWE. So these events are a bit more deeper than you think, guys. So I think bringing light and truth like to why they are in the game, what are they doing, how are they connected to the game, you can see what I'm going around with. You can see like it's not about the troop, it's about what it does, and not just in game. It's like the background, the way it generates a lot of income for Supercell. Keep them going so they can bring more interesting updates for you. They can actually get good, kind of, I would say, employees, so we have less bugs. These are all the things that are little by little connected. Things like, for example, having to be able to talk about these event troops. Like, we're here 2 years after Tunnel 15 Lava Loon era, and people still talk about it. We have an entire equipment for it, even though it's the worst equipment in the game, but people still talk about it. This is the beauty of event troops. This is the beauty of bringing events in Clash of Clans. Otherwise, it's gonna get boring. And even though I hate to say it, obviously Legends is fully broken with these. Like, I don't like that. It's completely out of place. But I think maybe 5 or a bit less percentage of players are in the Legends League, and that doesn't even include the high legends. High legends like maybe 1%, and they are the ones that we're getting like kind of tripled and crushed. And it doesn't really matter looking at a bigger aspect. Yes, let's get crushed for 3 weeks. It is what it is. Can't do nothing about it. But there is, as I said, certain things that can be done to where there is 90% of the game doing wars. That is different. Doing wars with event troops or CWO, that is where things get kind of bumped around, like completely broken. So there is certain things that they can do about that. But obviously, as I said, these are the three beautiful truths about this entire event and the event troops. Obviously, I hope I was able to explain everything for you so you can understand more of why we are having these events, how can they help you, and how can they help Supercell. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you think and what you think should be coming in future. Certain collaboration, who knows, maybe Supercell can actually look at your comments and be like, yeah, we like that, let's do that, and let's do, like, just give it a go. Okay, so go ahead and leave it down below, all your ideas. Maybe you hate this event, maybe you like the previous one, who knows, hopefully I will see you soon in the future. Take care and peace.